Welcome to our channel Storm Rider. The tension between India and Pakistan had been simmering for months. Though both nations have had a long history of political and military hostility rooted in the conflict over Kashmir, recent developments had begun to test the limits of restraint maintained by their respective leaderships. The border areas, especially along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, had seen sporadic gunfire exchanges, but the incident that triggered the use of advanced loitering munitions like the Harop drone was more than just another skirmish. It was a deadly coordinated attack in Pulwama, where multiple Indian paramilitary personnel lost their lives in a suicide bombing allegedly orchestrated by cross-border militants. India swiftly blamed Pakistan-based groups for facilitating the attack, reviving bitter memories of past confrontations like the 2016 Uri attack or the 2019 Pulwama Balakot episode. This time, however, India had more advanced tools in its arsenal. Over the past few years, Indian defense modernization had accelerated, including joint ventures with Israel, the United States, and France. One of the most strategically significant acquisitions had been the Harop loitering munition from Israel Aerospace Industries. Unlike conventional drones that are primarily used for surveillance, the Harop is a suicide drone, a hybrid between a drone and a missile, capable of flying for extended periods over a designated area, identifying targets via radar emissions or visuals, and destroying them by self-destructing into the target. It blends the stealth of unmanned flight with the destructive power of a precision missile, making it ideal for neutralizing radar stations, command centers, and mobile units. The operation that saw the deployment of these drones was codenamed Operation Sindoor. While the Indian Ministry of Defense maintained a position of strategic ambiguity initially, leaked satellite images and unverified footage circulating on open-source intelligence forums revealed the telltale wing profile and terminal dive pattern of Harop drones in multiple Pakistani cities. According to independent defense analysts, the drones were launched from airbases in Rajasthan and Gujarat and possibly guided by satellite and electronic warfare inputs from India's Defense Space Agency. As the drones loitered across the Pakistani airspace, multiple radars lit up on both sides of the border. India had reportedly mapped key Pakistani air defense locations, especially those in and around Lahore, Multan, and Sialkot. The Harop drones targeted these installations with pinpoint precision. At least 3 radar units, including one located within the 14th Squadron's jurisdiction near Lahore, were neutralized within minutes. Video clips captured by residents showed flashes in the sky followed by deep thunderous booms. Pakistani authorities confirmed the damage to radar systems but downplayed the strategic impact, insisting their air defense remained fully functional. However, this narrative faced scrutiny when multiple commercial flights in and out of Punjab province were rerouted or cancelled entirely, hinting at broader disruption in air surveillance infrastructure. In retaliation, Pakistan launched a series of air defense countermeasures. It deployed its mobile short-range surface-to-air missile units, including the LY-80 system procured from China. Within a span of 6 hours, Pakistan claimed to have downed at least 25 Indian drones. Wreckage strewn across residential districts in Karachi and Rawalpindi validated the claim to some extent, though independent observers argued that not all of these were Harop drones. Some may have been decoys or lower-grade surveillance UAVs accompanying the main strike force. The civilian cost of this exchange was immediately felt. In Rawalpindi, drone fragments damaged several homes and shops, killing 1 civilian and injuring 5 others. In Lahore, a blast near a military compound shattered windows across a school, injuring students. In India, cross-border shelling following the drone strikes resulted in the deaths of at least 4 injuries to a dozen more. Though neither side officially acknowledged launching conventional missile attacks, both engaged in heavy artillery fire along key forward posts, suggesting an escalation beyond drone warfare. International reactions poured in rapidly. The United States issued a statement urging restraint from both sides, emphasizing the importance of diplomacy over destruction. Russia and France echoed the call, while the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session to discuss the situation. China's response was more measured but pointed, calling for respect of territorial sovereignty and urging Pakistan to act with maturity while also condemning the loss of civilian life. Meanwhile, Israeli media took note of the Harop drone's debut in South Asian combat theaters, presenting it as a validation of Israeli drone technology's global relevance. Israel's defense ministry, however, remained silent, refusing to confirm any direct involvement in India's operations. Analysts believed this silence was part of a broader policy to maintain deniability in contentious geopolitical regions, especially where Israel had strong defense ties with opposing parties. The domestic political climate in both India and Pakistan also began to shift. In India, the ruling party hailed the operation as a surgical and technologically advanced response to terrorism, seeking to galvanize nationalist sentiments in the lead-up to regional elections. In Pakistan, opposition parties criticized the government for failing to anticipate and defend against such sophisticated drone attacks, leading to emergency parliamentary sessions and calls for a review of military preparedness. As pressure mounted, Pakistan's military leadership held a press briefing where the defense minister warned of a clear and present nuclear threat, should red lines be crossed. This statement reverberated globally, prompting think tanks and nuclear non-proliferation experts to issue alerts about the rising risk of miscalculation. Though both sides signaled a desire to avoid full-scale war, their rhetoric continued to inch toward confrontation. India's External Affairs Ministry issued a carefully worded response, stating it would do whatever necessary to protect national interests and citizens. In the following days, the border saw unprecedented mobilization of troops and armored vehicles. Military convoys moved at night, avoiding satellite surveillance. Helicopters conducted low-altitude sorties, and there were rumors of increased submarine activity in the Arabian Sea. Indian and Pakistani air forces both remained on high alert, with their forward air bases placed under combat-ready status. Diplomatic backchannels were activated through intermediaries. Iran and Saudi Arabia reportedly offered to mediate, and the UAE opened an informal summit to de-escalate tensions. Despite these efforts, the atmosphere remained volatile, with the potential for further conflict hanging in the air like a storm cloud refusing to break. This was not merely a battle over territory or ideology, it had now evolved into a technological showdown, a test of modern drone warfare in one of the most dangerous flashpoints on Earth. It raised questions about the role of artificial intelligence, autonomous weaponry, and electronic warfare in future conflicts. The Harop drones, with their eerie ability to find and destroy targets without human pilots, symbolized a new chapter in asymmetrical warfare, a chapter that both frightened and fascinated the world.